very much.
So did you make it, Chuck?
Of course. Hi, and welcome to another edition of Talkin Sports. I'm Charlie DeBiase, sports writer for the Staten Island Advance. This week's topic is high school golf. We're at Silver Lake Golf Course, and my guest is fellow sports writer Dan O'Leary. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Good to be back, Chuck, and let me welcome you officially to the golf beat because you haven't covered high school golf until you sat at the course on a windy and drizzly day.
I'm ready. What can I say? Dan, the Catholic boys scene. Monsignor Farrell and St. Joseph Legacy, from what I understand, played sort of a classic the other day. The Lions edged the Vikings 2 playoff holes, 3-2. How was that match?
Clinched the division for Farrell, perfect 10-0 season, and it went down right to the end. Ryan Feeney, Farrell's third flighter, had to beat Michael Giatti from seeing 2 overtime holes, 2 incredible shots. The first hit the pin on the first overtime hole, and Old Giatti made par. They tied. Went to the second overtime hole. He put 6 inches from the pin for birdie. So it was an incredible match, and it clinched it for Farrell.
The Lions have now won 2 straight Division II titles and 3 of the last 4. And Dan, obviously, they have some solid golfers on their team. James Buttermark, Ray Ferrari. You already mentioned Feeney. How good are these guys, and how could they make a nice run at the playoffs?
Time will tell. You know, there's a lot of good teams out there in addition to Farrell, but this is one of the best teams Farrell's had in a while. All 5 of their guys, the 3 we just spoke of, and Jonathan Lepre and Pete Maselli, all 5 of those guys are shooting, scores of 40 and under in their matches, and it's, they're very deep and very tough to beat.
And although the Vikings were the losers in the match the other day, obviously they're very good also. Do they have a chance to do some damage in the playoffs?
They're going to be in the playoffs. They've already clinched a spot 8-2. The only 2 losses were to Farrell. And, we will see. It's always competitive in the CHSA playoffs.
Dan, you said St. Peter's also has an outside shot of making the playoffs?
It's possible. They're sitting at 4-6 right now, but we won't know until the CHSA goes through all the tiebreakers. But it's gonna be close, but I think they may end up on the outside looking in.
The Eagles have anybody that's done anything successful this season?
Their number 1 kid, Sean Prisco's a very good golfer. He plays in all the summer tournaments, very good. He's I believe he's only lost 2 matches this year, so it's going to be interesting to find out.
All right, Dan, let's switch gears now. We're going to talk about the girls scene on Staten Island, the Catholic girls, that is, and Notre Dame Academy has been simply dominant over the 15-year history of the league. Going into this season, they've only lost 2 matches ever. This year, they've lost 3. Is there a changing of the guard?
It seems to be that way. In the 15th year, so far, St. Joseph Hill has established itself as the best team. They're 8-0 after winning on Wednesday. And Notre Dame has lost 3 matches this year, like you said, only 2 in the last 14. But last year they lost to Villa mid-season, and they still came back and won the CHSA championship. So we'll have to see. They're going to be in the playoffs. Right now it looks like Hill, St. John Villa, Notre Dame, and Bishop Kearney, and any 4 of those teams is capable of winning.
St. Joseph Hill, of course, is led by sophomore Ava Pantelli. Dan, she's had some seasons. She's really been tearing it up on the greens.
She really has. Last year she played number 2, and they had a junior, Melissa McGill, playing the number 1, and they made it to the championship match where they lost to Notre Dame, of course. But this year they switched around. Ava plays number 1, Melissa plays number 2. They're both very good golfers. Ava this week shot a 2 over par at Lotterette, and from talking to the coaches and the commissioner, they think that might be the best score the league has seen. I mean, that's just unheard of, especially for a sophomore. So certainly better than you or I could do, I'll tell you that.
And only a sophomore, like he says, that's truly remarkable.
St. John Villa has their top fighter, Elena Cleary. She's a returning advanced all-star. She's a senior this year, very good player. And Notre Dame is led by Katie Johnson in the number 1 spot. And it's very close. Number 1s, 1 through 5s, they are very close, and anybody can really beat anybody. The league has improved a lot from where it was 15 years ago.
Okay, Dan, now we'll conclude the show by talking about the PSAL boys division. And Tottenville has been simply dominant. They've won a city championship 2 years ago, and they also have a new rival, I guess you would say. They beat Petrides in that city championship. They played them in the semifinals last year. And this upcoming Wednesday, there is a good chance that the 2 teams will be playing for the island title. How is that going to be a big match?
That's right. It will be a big match on Wednesday, Charlie. Tottenville's undefeated, 9-0. They got 3 matches to go. One, of course, with Patrides. Patrides has 1 loss. It was to Tottenville in a very close match. And they've met each other in the playoffs and over the regular season. They've played very close matches. Tottenville 2 years ago beat Patrides in the city championship, and last year in the city semifinals until Cardozo beat Tottenville in the championship. So they have a very nice rivalry going, and it's 2 very good teams.
And who are some of the better golfers on those teams, Dan?
Well, Tottenville this year you have Rob Caporali and Vito Delaberti. That's their top 2. Those guys were part of the championship team. They played the lower flights. Now they're 1 and 2, so it's their year. Patrides has had 5 guys there, for years now. I mean, they only lost 1 player from last year's runner-up, and at the top it's Steven Studo, a younger brother of Alan and Joe, who played with Patrides years ago. And then Keith Roger Caruta, Kyle Deal, Sean Computer. These guys have been on the team 4 or 5 years, and of course Max Wade, who's another Patrides younger brother. So they've had that consistency.
And anybody else in the division that you can talk about?
In the PSAL, there are 3 teams that are going to be looking for those probably final 2 playoff spots. Susan Wagner is in 3rd place right now. They're led by Anthony Gaffredo in their top spot. McKee Staten Island Tech has a returning advanced all-star Nick Holman. And Curtis High School also could be looking there in 5th right now, but could move up and sneak into the playoffs. So it's going to...
Okay, well, really, really quick. Does the city champion come from Staten Island this year?
I think so. I mean, if I had my guess, I think it's going to be Tottenville and Patrides again, because the island teams are always traditionally stronger than the city teams. That's just the way it's been, and it's the way it should be again this year.
Well, soon enough we'll find out. That's it for this segment of Talking Sports. I'm Charlie DeBiase.
And I'm Dan O'Leary, and please continue to follow the coverage of high school golf and all the other sports in the advance, and on our website at highschoolsports.silive.com.